Before I start my talk, I wanted to take a brief moment to read the room. Right now, I counted a few people in the audience currently on their phones. This is the state of the attention economy. Surprisingly, there wasn't anyone on their phones. The script didn't work out too well, but thank you for being such a good audience. I'll spend the next few minutes talking about how we can create healthy habits with our digital tools and about the harms of excessive screen time. Now, I said a word, attention economy, but what does it mean? The attention economy is our interaction with anything that seeks to take up our limited attention. An industry profits off of our focus, and a war is being fought not with weapons, but with algorithms. And we perpetuate it despite the harms to our well-being. Social media and tech companies have defined this century's economy, culture, and politics. Their influence is undeniable. And my generation is the first to have grown up with smartphones and social media, and I've seen firsthand the impact that it's had on time management, attention spans, and even mental health. I've seen it in classmates, in friends, and even in myself. I don't like the direction that things have taken, but it doesn't need to be like this. And there's hope. There's still room for change. And it starts with action at the individual level. But first, I want to show to everybody how much of a widespread topic this really is. According to recent surveys, the average American spends 8 hours per day interacting with digital media. That is a third of the day, and please remember, we spend another third of the day sleeping. What time do we have left after we get our 8 hours of sleep? What is it that you do in that last third of your day? The answer for most is probably working for the largest part of that. How much of your time do you truly own? And though social media consumption takes up such a large time in our life, screen time alone takes up a shocking amount of our time. Surveys recently have found that the average American spends 5 hours and 16 minutes daily on their phones, on entertainment and social media for the most part. And when you isolate Gen Z, that number goes up to 6 hours and 27 minutes. Please let that sink in. My generation spends more than a quarter of the day on their phones. And here's something for you to think about. Kids today typically get their first phone around the age of 12. And through the course of their lives, they're expected to have spent 12 years staring at a screen. And referring back to that number of 8 hours, just 4 years ago, that number used to be 7 hours. But every year, we add a couple more minutes to our consumption of digital media. And this is while more traditional forms are on the decline, like television. Now, this is probably due to the nature of our devices. They push us away from less stimulating media like television towards the highly engaging content that we find on our phones. But it is important to remember that social media and cell phone use is not fundamentally negative, but in the attention economy, apps are designed and algorithms created with the conscious goal of making you addicted. Here's a question for you all. How many of you have picked up your phone to do one thing? You get distracted. You lose time. You forget why you even picked up your phone in the first place. Don't be ashamed. It happens to all of us. Our phones are great at pulling us in these different directions, and we think we're good at multitasking, but the truth is that our brains aren't built for it. MIT neuroscientist Earl Miller calls attention to the switch cost effect, the hidden price we pay for constantly switching between tasks. When we focus on a task, our brain configures itself to perform that task. When we focus on many tasks at once, our brain has to constantly reconfigure itself to perform each task. Though you may not notice it, this causes your performance to decline, making you slower and less adept at any given task. And beyond the effects of attention fragmentation, our phones have a negative impact up here. Many studies have shown that there's a link between excessive screen time and symptoms of ADHD, symptoms of addiction, a decrease in emotional and social intelligence. There's a connection with social isolation and impaired sleep habits. And when you look at children, these effects are exaggerated with additional detrimental effects on sensory motor development, executive functioning, language learning, and academic outcomes. Research has shown that with each 1 hour increase in television time at 2 years of age corresponds with a 7% decrease in class participation and a 6% decrease in math proficiency by the 4th grade. Now, we can definitely argue that technology has had a negative impact. But in the research papers that I've read that highlighted all these negatives, it was stated that there are benefits to technology as well. By that I mean that although excessive screen time is harmful, when moderated, screen time becomes a great asset, a benefit to us. It's important to remember that the battle over our attention is not new. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote almost 2,000 years ago, "Do external things distract you? Make time for yourself to learn something worthwhile. Stop being pulled in all directions." To me, this quote is important. It shows that although technology is new, the battle for our attention, like I said, is not. People have always wondered how we can better spend our time. Communication technology is a great resource for us. It is a tool. The important thing is that we educate ourselves and we remember to be mindful, to live healthily, and to teach others to do the same. When you regulate your technology, you regain control over your life. Social media can be great at connecting people. There are many online learning tools available for free that leave you something positive to show from using them. Attention fragmentation is a problem, but digital technology can improve our ability to multitask. Remember not to focus on too many things at once, of course. And video game use in a very similar way can be detrimental, but when moderated, it increases reaction times and visual attention. Digital technology can be used to create neural exercises, and studies on this have shown a myriad of benefits to the brain because of these exercises. It can improve memory in older people, can improve our ability to think flexibly, known as fluid intelligence, and it can be used to create psychological interventions for people struggling with their mental health. If you're still worried about those negatives for the children, there are many programs that have been developed aimed at training math and language skills. The important thing to remember is responsible use of technology. Now, what can we do about this? My suggestion is to create healthy habits to emphasize those positives while mitigating the negatives. What that can look like in your day-to-day is that when you're working on an assignment, turn off your notifications and put your phone to the side. It is only a distraction. Make time in your day to go technology-free. Read a book, go on a walk, do anything productive that doesn't require you to be on your phone. Prioritize real-life interactions. This can be with friends, family, anyone. Learn something new in the time you're using your phone. Like I said, there are many educational tools online available for free, and in a similar light, replace mindless scrolling with apps that can train your brain. Reduce screen time. If you have very troubling use, set realistic goals and work your way down from there. And this last one is important for any parents in the room. If you expect your child to show healthy behaviors in how they engage with technology, expect the same from yourself and lead by example. Technology is powerful for both good and bad. It can shape our lives or steal them. I want everyone to ask themselves, do I own my technology, or does my technology own me? And if there's one thing I want to leave everybody with, it's the knowledge that although there are big players in this game, there's no bigger player in your life than yourself. Thank you.